Pro Studio Chips, and welcome today. We are going to be learning all about the Print Center, which is one of the most awesome features of Quilt Pro. It's amazing the information that you can get from this after you go through and create a quilt. So we're starting here. I'm going to go through and open a project. I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on File, Open, and I'm going to click on My Projects. And then I'm going to come down here to Quilts, double click on that, and it's going to show up. And I want to show you just a really quick, awesome feature that I love here. If I click on this, but don't double click, it actually gives me a little preview of the quilt right here. So I can come down and I can click on this and I can kind of see, okay, which quilt, because if I can't remember, if you notice I have some here that have a lot of similar names, I can see which one I wanted to print. Okay, you know what? This is the one I want to open. So I'm going to click open. This is a quilt that I actually made recently, and I love this quilt. It turned out really fun, and it is refreshing a little bit here. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, so I've got my quilt open here, and I'm looking at it going, yep, that looks great. I'm ready to go to the fabric store. So I'm going to come up here and click on the Print Center button on the ribbon bar. And my Print Center is going to open. Now this Print Center has so much information. It is awesome. First of all, this is the main page of the Print Center, and you've got options here. You can print your quilt info, print just a block, the quilt, strip piecing chart, the yardage, the foundation, if you're going to be doing foundation piecing, and then you can also print templates if you prefer to use templates. You can also look at this in different ways. You can look at this as the quilt view right here. You see it says the project view. I can look at just the quilt, or if I want to look at unique blocks, I can pick a specific block. This shows me each of the blocks that are in my project. Because I'm going to come and click on quilt view again, because my project actually uses the exact same block, but every block is colored differently. I have 16 unique blocks. I can also go through and pick, if I had applique or stencil, I can click on one of these and it will consolidate and only show that specific item I'm looking at. However, today I want to print out information for the entire quilt because I'm going shopping later. So I'm going to start here at the top and I'm going to click on Print Quilt Info. I want to print this sheet out. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click Print Preview. There's no options for this one. I just want to take a glimpse at what it's going to give me. And what it's going to give me is a small little picture of it, and it's going to give me all this information. It's going to tell me how big it is. It's going to tell me that the blocks are set straight. There's center block settings. There's 4 across, 4 blocks down, 16 blocks total. The block setting is single, meaning that I used one single block for the entire quilt. My blocks are 16 inches wide, and the blocks I used is called Road to California. And my quilt has no borders, no sashing. It has French binding, and my binding is 3/8 inches wide. So I've got all that information. If I want to just have that to put in a project book or to share with someone, I can have this here. Also, if you happen to be a pattern designer, this is a lot of good information to put on the back of your package so that your customers have all that information handy. Well, I want to go back to the main page. So I'm going to come down here and click this button right here that says go back, and it takes me back to this main page of the Print Center. And I want to just print a block so that I have a very specific, and it is going to start with this very top left-hand block, and it is going to fit it page to page, 8 inches wide. But you know what? I want to print it out so that it is the actual size. So I'm going to click on actual size, and now it will print it out 16 inches wide by 16 inches high. I can also print it out at a specific size, say that I did want to make it fit on that page. I could do that. I'm going to choose to have it print solid colors and fabric patterns. Because I did this one all in solids, it doesn't have a lot of that. It doesn't have a pattern in there, but if you do have a fabric chosen with a pattern, it will actually print it. And I can print Or if I want to maybe save my printer a little, I can choose print solid colors only, which mine would do anyway, but it would just print the main overall color. I can also choose that when I'm doing a 16-inch block, it's going to print on multiple pages, which it would have to do, and then I could tape them together. It's going to center the design on the paper, and it's going to show the align marks for the pages so that I will be able to actually line those pages up and get it perfect. And I can have it print outlines only, which means that it won't actually print any color in there, so that say I wanted to color it in or cut the fabric out and put it in there, I can do in all those things. I also have the option to print align marks for aligning the pages, just like over here. I can print grain lines. I can alternate fabric printing. So if I wanted to try something different, I can click on this one and it will auto straighten an on-point design so that after you print them out, everything is nice and straight, exactly the way you want it. I'm going to come down here and click on print preview so I can see what that would look like. And remember, I chose no color. And right up here at the top, it tells me that there's 1 of 4 pages. And you see these little crosses right here in the corner? Those are my align marks, so that when I go through these pages, you see these little align marks, I would actually be able to line everything up, tape it or glue it together, and it would be exactly where it needed to be. All right, I'm going to close this and go back. So let's go back. So that's how you print out just a specific block. Now, if I want to print a picture of the entire quilt, I click on Print Quilt. And I can have it either fit to the page, which is what I actually want to do here. You can print it out at the actual size. Say that you're making a mini quilt that's 12 by 14. You could totally do that, or 8 by 10. That would actually fit on a regular piece of paper. I am going to do it though so that it will fit to the page, which means it's going to be 8 inches wide by 8 inches high. And I don't want it to print on multiple pages this time. I do want it to center the design on the paper. I don't need align marks, and I actually want it to print the solid colors this time. And then I'm going to click print preview and check out what it shows me here. And look at that. I have an awesome picture of my quilt that I can print out. I can hang it on my wall. I can take it with me when I go shopping. I can even use it if I'm a pattern designer to put in the pattern for layout. It's an awesome, awesome design. And you see it's got this really nice little skinny line around it. That is my binding. So, and there's only 1 page here. I'm going to click close, and we're going to click go back again, go back to that main page. And we're going to go play with the print strip piecing chart. This is super awesome. So it's going to chart either just a block or it's going to chart the entire quilt. Now, I can have it chart just the blocks, chart the borders too, and chart the sashes. You can have it chart the entire thing, or you can have it print just one specific. I don't have any borders and I don't have any sashes, so I'm just going to leave it on chart blocks. And then I am going to come down here and click print preview, and it is going to show me a preview of each of the blocks that I have. It gives me all the instructions on how to cut this out. It tells me cut 1 5¼ inch wide strip and then cut 12 triangles from 3 squares. So it shows me right there how to do that. And this is for the first block. If you look right up here, it tells me there's 1 of 15 pages. So on the next page, I've got those colors, and the next page, and so on and so forth. So you kind of get an idea here. It's got specific cutting instructions for each block, which is awesome. You'll have exactly what you need for all of them all at once. Now we're going to come down here and click back again, and we're going to go down and we're going to check out the yardage. Now this, I love this. I don't know about you guys, but quilt math, oh my, trying to figure out yardage, it seems like I have a chronic problem of under figuring if I do it myself with pen and paper. However, in Quilt Pro, I never get it wrong. I always get enough fabric that I need. It's wonderful. It even has this awesome right here, this awesome section right here that is the fudge factor, which allows me to figure in a little bit of extra fabric so that maybe if I have a design I need to align, or I just need to straighten everything up, I know I've got plenty of fabric to do that. I like to set this at 1/8 of a yard fudge factor, but you sure could go to 1/4 of a yard. quarter of a yard is really good, especially if you're trying to maybe build your stash a little. It'll help you get that figured out. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that. If I did have borders on this and I wanted to calculate the long or plain borders as a single strip of fabric, I didn't want to have to piece them. I can click this and it will be sure and tell me to cut these nice long strips for all the way around the edge. I'm able to set my seam allowance at 1/4 of an inch, my fabric width at 42 inches. It defaults at 44. I like to set it at 42 because it seems to me by the time you cut off selvages, 42 is usually about what you have to work with. I do know some quilters that set it even as low as 40. Now, I can calculate the yardage for just the blocks, just the sashing, the borders, the binding. It'll tell me how much backing fabric I need, which is really great. I don't have any borders this time though, and I don't have any sashes, so I'm going to turn those off. And then I am going to come down here and click on Show Yardage Results. And this is going to give me a quick overview right here of how much I'm going to need of each color. So I can come over here and I can click and hold down on this button and I can drag it down and I can look through and I've got all of my colors here. So I can easily go down to my backing fabric tells me that I need 3 15/16 of a yard. So yeah, I probably just buy 4. But I know I will have plenty of fabric if I buy 4 yards. My binding, I'm going to need 1/2 yard for that one. So that's really great. And right here, it says show as print preview. Now, if I want to, I can make this an editable document, which will allow me to go in and make changes on it right here. I don't actually need to make any changes. This one's good. But I am going to come up. I always like to go through my pages and double check, make sure that I have everything there. So I'm just going to click really quick on my next page. I've got all I need. And if I was printing this to go shopping with this afternoon, I'd come over here and click print. Right there, it's going to send it to my printer. There's my margins. I'm going to print all of my pages, or you can choose only pages. So say that if you notice here my backing, it says 3 15/16. Maybe I just want to remember that I need 4 yards, or I just want to write that down. So I could say from pages 1 to 2, I can change that. And then I would click print and it would go ahead and print that out for me. So I'm going to go ahead and click close, and I'm going to close out of this preview. Close here also. And then we're going to click go back one more time because there's a couple other really awesome things about the print center that I want to show you. You can go in and print your own foundation pieces, which are just awesome. One of the things that pops up is if I have not went in and numbered it, it will ask me, the block you have chosen has not been numbered. Do you want to continue? Yes. So what I need to do is I need to go in and actually choose the numbers for this block for printing the template. So I want to do an editable preview, and that will allow me to go in and choose numbers for this block. All right, there's another really awesome feature here in the Print Center, and it allows you to print foundation. So if you wanted to paper piece the flying geese in this quilt, you could easily do that. Now I'm going to come here and click on Unique Blocks, and I'm going to choose a block, and then I'm going to click on Print Foundation so that it will print this foundation. And it says the block you've chosen has not been yet numbered. Do you want to continue? And I say yes. So I am going to go here and I'm going to have it print the numbers. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click print preview, and it is going to show up and it is going to give me my templates. Now, once again, if I come up here and look, this first page, I go, wow, that's just a big square. That's not very helpful. But if I look, it's one of 7 pages. So I'm going to click next, and it is going to give me my flying geese. So you can see them there. And I did not pick to put alignment marks on this. So I'm going to close this, and I am going to go back and I'm going to say show page align marks, and I'm going to center the design on the paper, and we're going to do it that way, and we're going to click print preview again, and we're going to go through and double check. All right, now I've got my alignment marks. I'm going to click next page. Next page, you can see how great this is. You can go through and print this out and tape it all together. And I would have my perfect flying geese. So that's how you print out templates. They are really great and easy to use. If you're a paper piecer, this is an awesome tool. We can also print templates, which are really great. So if you want to go ahead and cut everything out and you like to use templates, this is a super easy way to do it. If you want to just have the templates printed out as a reference so that you can make sure that you cut your pieces out to the right size, you can easily do that. Once again, we're going to click print preview and it's going to show me my little templates there. And if you look, I've got 3 pages, so I'm going to click next page and the next page, and then I've got my 3 templates. I can go back. And once again, if I only want to print out these pieces specifically, because the squares on the next couple of pages, those are usually pretty easy to figure out. Triangles can be a little harder. I can come over here and click print. I can choose only page 1 to 1, and then I can click print, and I would only have those ones. So I'm going to close it. We're going to close back out of this, and that is a really awesome, another really great feature about this. Another awesome feature, and I know I keep using that word awesome, but it's because it really is a great feature of Quilt Pro, is it actually shows you how it lays out the patches for strip piecing. Print yardage first, and I'm going to come back here, up here and click quilt view so that it's my entire quilt, it's not the whole thing. And I can click on show yardage results. And then I click on one specific color, and then right down here, there's a button that pops up that says show cutting layout. And I click on this, and it actually shows me how Quilt Pro has went through and done the math to cut out that specific fabric. How great is that? So now I know that they do these strips across here, these strips across here, and I can see exactly how they're laid out. Now, I can either look at it on the screen like this, or I can click print preview and it will show me here. Show the cutting layout. It will show me my different ones here. So isn't that great? Then you know exactly how the computer was figuring out how you are supposed to cut out these pieces. So as you can see, Quilt Pro takes the guesswork out of the yardage, the cutting, all of those things for a quilt. I really hope you enjoyed our tutorial today. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure and hit subscribe below so you don't miss out on any of our new tutorials, and have fun quilting today.